coming in here. So, I mean, you could just push super hard. And, I mean, anything that pushes with the Neela will be very annoying to deal with. And Camille, okay, this has been played by Keria before. It'll be his second time playing it this season. Did not work last time around, but it's a lot of extra lockdown for the Zeri. Could also be he's playing Sejuani down there, and the Camille goes topside for some extra items. I think I'd actually like that more. Well,
Yone standing out here. It looks like
very
okay.
Okay, well, this could be Silas top too, but Yone into a very unknown lane, because it could be the Sejuani or the Camille, feels very risky. Looks like it is going to be the Camille, which I think we all expected. Getting those extra items on the Camille way stronger, because Sejuani is going to be just a CC bot, whereas Camille can actually do strong things in side lanes and can be a big threat. So it felt like fairly safe to lock this one in, but either way, I think Yone into Camille, a very high volatility matchup, and you've already decided your comp is about having the insane engaged frontline for the Zeri, just kind of going straight up in. There is an ultimate ability called Emperor's Divide that is very good at stopping that sort of hard engage. Faker can itemize defensively with Crown, I think in this case, and feel very good about his ability to consistently shut down those engages. We'll probably go Zhonya's too. This draft for DAMWON, I think, is so predicated on Zeri getting ahead through mid-game fights and not through laning, not through time. Usually Zeri goes to the third item through time. She goes, oh, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm getting closer to my IE. I'm locking in my IE. Now I'm going to fight. But DAMWON here trying to get her kills early through mid-game fights, which I think against Neela Azir is a very risky way to play. Criticize the risks they took earlier on in this best of 5, and it's been kind of 50-50 on it with how it's worked out. Putting it all on the line here, though, to try to bring us to the Silver Scrapes. I respect the confidence. That's one thing we definitely can say DAMWON Kia's coaching staff has tonight.
Yeah, and that is now going to change here in game number 4. So it looks like we're all ready to go. Let's jump onto the Rift. Here we go once again, game 4. DAMWON Kia on the ropes again, trying to pull off a reverse sweep. T1. After the first couple of games, I thought the 3-0 pred was going to come through very smoothly. Was not meant to be. DAMWON Kia did put up a nice fight there in the third game. And here we are again.
The Birdall sub-in does feel like could have been related to this specific R5 pick they had prepared. And so before we were like, well, let's not speculate. I think we can kind of speculate now, as that's the great little prowling projectile start. You go there, attach the Silas, grab 20 gold, take away some of Faker's health. You love to see it. Everybody loves Yuumi. All my homies love Yuumi.
Yeah, huge fan. Yeah, all of us down here, we're all big fans. Shout out.
Hashtag big fan of the Yuumi.
Yeah. Shout out to that champion. Very, very cute little maneuver there in the mid lane. Prowling projectile is such a very interesting way to name a projectile skill. You know, by calling it a projectile.
Yeah.
I suppose, you know, eventually you run out of vocabulary words.
You got that P alliteration going on.
Yeah.
PR too.
This is level 2, so there's the flash from Faker. Not the first time that Canyon has done something like this in recent times.
Well, it's pretty huge to get flash away, especially because Showmaker will get his own Emperor's Divide. And
you were talking about Marong before. I'm like, this is his comfort zone, man. Like,
yeah.
He would love this meta here in the LCK.
Oh, he absolutely would. He left it okay over there in the LEC, but I think that the advantage that Canyon gets here is quite significant, though, this time around. As for Keria and Guma in the bottom side, level 6 is such a scary prospect. Like, when I think about how this goes, where they get it first, and Kelvin can't defend himself with his own, Duckdown won't be able to ult back. Can be very scary, as they're actually getting a nice trade here. range they do have in their favor. That's one of the other things Yumi's going to grant you into this lane, is the ability to actually use that prowling projectile, the double PR. Maybe that's one way to save Yumi's reputation, is put 2 PRs. And,
yeah. Chovy, the only one to win in this matchup for Summer.
And it has been one that we have seen be less and less popular because we're seeing less Sylas here in the end of the season, as we do see a roaming owner up to the top side, and gank setup here is potentially real. Some nice trading from Zeus.
Canyon, though, going from bot to top. He is right here on time. T1 not going to commit to this before they do see Canyon, though, so they should be totally safe as Ingo's owner as well. Big trade in the bottom side. Exhaust actually used as Guma just hops away from that one. And Ignite used. So 3 of the summoner spells of DAMWON Kia used, and none for T1.
Yeah. And the lane is still pushing. The wave is still pushing here for T1. So Duck Tom going to need a little bit more here. And unfortunately, he's not going to get it right now. Needs a little bit more poke from the Yuumi to connect here and have those healing E's come through before you can actually all in. Canyon will grab this crab, and we'll get a little bit of a speed boost down here to the bottom side, but Guma, Keria should realize this. They don't have a ward here.
They're pretty low as well as in goes the Zeri. This looks very suspicious as in goes the monkey and does a ton of damage, but first blood goes to Keria, and Guma is just prancing around everybody. He will get taken out, but now owners here for the potential cleanup. Canyon and Kellen stuck in the brush. Kellen, actually with that flash, not able to land onto Canyon. Made that very difficult, did Kellen. Very nicely done. Yep, and owners not able to execute.
And we'll take him down low, but can't get the kill. This was very well played, though, from Keria and Guma. Summoner advantage that you talked about right before this, actually so critical in this moment. You know, with that extra exhaust and ignite, they would have actually been well off to get that first kill there and then trade back, but they don't have that extra damage, as Keria and Guma don't have vision, but Keria just sets up the knock up here, the stun. Super easy. Duck Dom taken out first, that's all your damage gone. Without the damage, this fight, the longer one, not going to go in your favor. At least they trade back one onto the Neela. And Canyon, with the help here of Kellen, plays this so well. Just barely dodges.
Yeah. Canyon predicting that straight line, was already running towards the alcove and is able to dodge that one very nicely. So, bit of an even trade there. You could see that Guma and Keria, the second the engage came in, they're like, what, you're engaging on us? We're just going to kill you. So they have a very absolute calculation in their mind of like, okay, we know that we have the damage to kill them right here, regardless of, you know, the jungler being there, etc. So they did have to use all their summoners. Everybody now summoner-less in the bottom side.
Zeus does not have 6, but we'll get it soon. Yeah, and Bertel is not looking for an engage there. And, I mean, the early game is a 1-for-1 here. Kill for the Wukong, kill for the Sejuani. Like, no massive advantages here. What does mean that level 6 that's coming up for Keria and Guma, which we are zooming in on this lane, is somewhat delayed, actually, by this trade. So, I actually have an opportunity potentially for that Yuumi to have 6. See, Kellen is a little bit behind there as a result of that extra experience shared between these two, but if they can buy enough time for that to happen, then I don't think Keria Guma can make that play. They're both flashless, of course, as well. As owner with a big long con play potentially set up here. It'd be very difficult for Zeus to bait this one. There's no wards. He
does have his Exec ultimatum. I think if he can land that onto Bertel outside of a turret, he is 100% dead. With Ignite here for Zeus taken. But it doesn't quite look like it. I mean, they could try to force it under turret, but that's a bit dangerous. We do have a bit of a roam up top now from Showmaker even. Just securing more vision in their own jungle.
Yeah, Bertel is playing this so carefully. Just needs to stay in range of his turret. Has his ult as well, so... Okay.
There it is. Moves forward. He's on the edge here, but the Ignite might just be enough. The ult comes out, and it will not save Bertel. Or it might actually. He has to go back, and even under turret, Zeus does step right back in and take his life.
It's moments like these where you just feel like, oh, the player absolutely knows. They know the range. They know it. And he steps forward there with the Q. And that was the moment. They decide to go in, and he has ult. Still not enough to save him. Hextech Ultimatum so great at locking down a Yone for long enough for that damage to come through. Obviously with the follow-up ult from Vi, super easy to chain that one together. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's not the level 6 I was talking about. Not the usage I was expecting.
Yeah.
Nice try, though.
Level 1, it's a relatively long cooldown. I feel like it got nerfed like 4 patches ago. Not sure. Either way, here's a replay of the top play.
Birdall here, we're like, oh, he's safe. And then he Qs. And Zeus is like, I'm sorry, man. That's it. That's it. You're dead.
Sorry, brother. I had to do it to you.
Zeus waits for him to go back to his clone as well. He's like, I don't care. Or it's not his clone, his body. His soul goes back and reattaches. And
we're no lore experts here.
No, definitely not. You will be when the MMO comes
I will be,
out.
yeah. I'm working on it.
This is huge.
Yeah, they're going to be going for this one. Showmaker now backing up to his team. This is over the wall, as everybody's kind of got a dash here, but they're being zoned out for the moment, and Hextech Ultimatum not available for Zeus. But in comes the engage, as that one will land on the back line, and the Cyclone is really huge. They provide some space, but the Apotheosis does gather up 3. It's not enough, though.
Where's the damage?
Zeus is in there all alone. The Neela is already dead, and Zeus will be second on top of that, as they even get the Rift Herald DAMWON Kia with a fast play.
Remember what I was talking about? They want to use this comp to get kills for Zeri, get the Zeri accelerated, get her items early. And one way to get 3 items on Zeri, time. The other way is kills and assists in early team fights. We usually like to call those Zeri moments here on the LCK broadcast. This was not certifiable, unfortunately, with just one kill going over. But still, a lot of money in DuckDom's pocket here. Winning team fight for DAMWON Kia. They used their comp, and it's turned so well because Apotheosis needs to actually hit everybody, and they need follow-up damage. They don't have it. The ult from DuckDom is way better here at setting up for an actual team fight win. And remember, Keria doesn't have ult. There's no Hextech Ultimatum. DuckDom, is he damaged? Is he touched? Is he hurt? Is he under any threats? No. The answer to all of those questions is no.
Well, we're diving top again. This is one way, as now the ult comes down, and Bertle is under turret, killing both of them. Double kill for the Yone.
And
that will be worth.
Now the nerves are starting to come through a little bit here, potentially for T1.
Okay, getting on top of Faker. Now the stolen Emperor's Divide, and he does not have a flash anymore. That's going to be him going down into the hands of Showmaker as well.
Swoosh! The goal lead is gone. Wipe it away. DAMWON Kia take a lead of their own. Massive plays on all parts of the map. They win the Rift Herald fight. Defensive ult on top. Canyon will be able to get out of here with that clone, and defensive ult on top's a double. They get the kill into Faker. Doesn't have his own Emperor's Divide. Hijack comes through. Showmaker grabs Faker. The wall itself prevents him from getting out. He doesn't have flash either, so has to take the walk around. DuckDom grabs a plate down here, really adding on to the things that went wrong for T1, but T1 in just a flash, now no longer in control of this game.
And Keria's on a bit of an interesting path. Not enough damage, I don't think, from the Zeri and the Yuumi just yet.
And Owner's here. This could be a trap.
Okay, Owner is here. The damage not there onto the Keria, so it is a nice amount of poke, but even follow-up there from Owner. But doesn't amount to a kill or anything like that.
And Zeri just able to get over walls like that. Never really did any risk, unfortunately, for Owner, who didn't have ult there. But this is the play here, top side. See, the ult has to hit double, and it does.
나쁘지 않은데?
He's like, it's not that bad for me.
잡은데 잡은데?
Got
나이스.
him. Nice. He
다행이다.
leveled up twice. Yeah. Actually crazy.
Oh boy.
Either that or he was holding his skill point, which I do not think was the case. And yeah, Faker's caught by the hijacked Emperor's Divide. Doesn't have flash, doesn't have ult. That one's pretty self-explanatory there in the mid lane. I mean, DAMWON Kia starting to get some big leads on carry champions.
Yeah, I mean, especially Faker, like in the Rift Herald fight, he wasn't able to do any damage. He dashed in, got knocked up immediately. Emperor's Divide hit nobody. So he like swiped a couple of people like once with his soldiers with no items, and that's it. Because by the way, he did go for the Oblivion Orb as well, so that delays his build.
Yeah.
And the Neela basically went in and then did a little bit of damage, but then died. So that's the lack of the follow-up. And then now we're getting picks across the board. T1 trying to be proactive. trying to get ahead of DAMWON Kia and their Zeri Yuumi, but it's not looking like they're doing a great job of it so far.
Yeah, and the fact that Zeus doesn't get the lead that he wants, or he lost the lead that he had, is pretty huge for side lane potential as well here for T1. Now they're going to have to really force fights to get back control of the map and control of vision, which is going to be very difficult at this stage in time. And locking down the Zeri is the #1 priority for this Camille. And in the last Rift Herald fight, she didn't have ult because it was used previously. Keria used his ultimate as well previously, and so, you know, these big tools were gone at a critical juncture, and I think DAMWON Kia identified so quickly and so clearly this is absolutely an angle for DuckDom to get some gold, and we will fight for this. We'll take the Herald. We'll take a little bit more map pressure. And I think DAMWON has been much improved in that regard since the KT series in terms of making succinct calls, but making hard calls as well, and being ready to commit.
Oh boy. Hunter's gonna face check this brush. He does have a lot of time to try to delay his death, but that is about all he'll be able to do. As now the follow-up, second Cyclone comes in. Keria has to use his stopwatch. Apotheosis does come in, but Exhaust is right there. Guma will save Keria's life, but this is huge for more gold for DuckDom.
Exactly, and this is still just going to be so many minions now going down, the turret plate going down. It's going to be Drake for DAMWON Kia, and Flash was up for Canyon. He has the double Cyclone, makes the 2 impactful plays there. And Bertle, yeah, he's 3 kills to 1. Doesn't have his mythic yet. He's just happy to farm under turret. He is going to be an incredible long-range engage tool for DuckDom. Showmaker, medium-range engage tool. Canyon, medium-range engage tool. And this is what we were talking about for this comp. If you can get the Zeri accelerated early, she is 1,000 gold or so ahead, I believe, on that chart we just had open. Get her ahead early, then we don't have to wait as long for that second and third item spike for her. And when she has this much frontline, and the frontline is also ahead, you know, I think Phantom Dancer is a pretty big spike for her. When she can play around that longer damage, she avoids Emperor's Divide, avoids the Keria ult. Hextech Ultimatum is even stealable for Showmaker, so there's a ways to lock down the Camille. Looks very hopeful here for DAMWON Kia.
He's going to get that nice. Bertle does pick that up. Looks like DAMWON Kia do not want to fight over this. Otherwise, I believe they could have been in position. Maybe just, you know, sitting bot, trying to get that turret, which they do get the entirety of it. So
and
not
Drake.
quite there on the back. And the Drake, which is very important, Infernal Drake here for your Zeri and Yone and everything else, like literally everybody. It's not the AP Yuumi this time, but still going to be doing some damage and benefiting, as this is just unfortunate timing for Owner.
Yeah, just walks right into the worst possible scenario. Pretty fortunate for T1 that they do end up escaping down here bottom side. Guma has his dash, Keria has stopwatch. Apotheosis here trying to turn this one around. It's really huge, the dodge that Guma had on the extendo beam. If he gets slowed there, he is probably done so. Zeus might get caught. He sees this.
Yuumi's here. No longer sitting with the Zeri in mid, no need to. Can begin to make plays with the jungler.
Yeah, now they're trying to look for topside dives. You know, they're getting this control over these important carries that can dive, and they're saying, all right, well, we're just going to get, if you guys come and commit resources to top, we'll push mid. And at this point, DuckDom with Shieldbow is like, yeah, I dare you to all in me. I dare you to try to fight this. He has Cleanse, and he's very happy to take fights into Neela in the mid lane, especially when the jungler is just one screen away. Showmaker playing respectfully here.
Take a look at the builds here from Faker. He went Crown, as might not be able to talk about it, as in he goes, going to delay a lot of that damage actually and survive just fine, as in comes the Wukong. I don't think they're done with this one yet. It's the big wraparound.
Yeah, no turret here. That was such a beautiful flash attempt from Showmaker, predicting the angle, but the timing a little bit off in terms of the Emperor's Divide, so he still gets caught by it, and it looks like Faker will just narrowly escape. Just quick enough to get out of there.
Are we doing this again?
I hope not.
Is this the angle? Because it is, I mean, it is Camille, but hasn't really been working out for you guys too much. But yeah, the Crown build for Faker just means that the damage will be even further delayed, and I mean, he goes Morello second. I mean, you know, you can understand with some of the champions he's going up against, but now he doesn't really do as much damage as he possibly could, going for something like Luden Shadowflame or literally anything else. And that just means that by the time that he has damage, Zeri has 3 items.
Yeah, and I think that this build, and I was calling for the crown into Zhonya. Super Zonya's third, probably very likely here, which further hurts his damage output, but makes him more survivable. I think in a game state where you're very even as T1 or even slightly ahead, this feels amazing. You're like, oh yeah, there's nothing they can do. There's no angle here. But when the Zeri is fed and has all that extra money, you don't feel great, unfortunately, about this itemization. You have to find a way to kill her somehow. Someone's going to have to kill her when she's Hextech ultimatumed, if that ever even happens, because there's a lot of frontline to prevent the Camille from actually getting on top of this Zeri. And we're moving to a more scary game state every single moment that passes here for T1's composition, especially because this Camille is just crashing minions into top turret, which is, you know, basically not even under threat. It's like not even a half health here. So she's not getting any side lane value. Yeah, you will get mid turret here. You will be able to get the Sun turret, and that's going to give you an extra charge, but you need to win team fights somehow. Need to speed this game up. Need to force DAMWON Kia into an objective fight, and the Drake split being 1-to-1 here on Ocean Soul. DAMWON Kia could take their sweet time. They don't need to force fights.
Yeah, just going to be hanging out. Like you did mention, which I think is a really important point, T1 do have insane lockdown onto the Zeri. Even if it does get into like an insane late game position, there is still a chance that, you know, you just press all your buttons, you go all in, and maybe you can just 100-0 her. And maybe that's the win condition if this game does go a bit longer than, you know, 3 item Zeri, which it's looking extremely likely like that it will. Maybe you just have to kind of sit back and wait because, you know, the Drakes aren't going to be huge and stuff like that. As Zeus is going to be, okay, Faker's coming on in for this one, looking for the sweep onto the, oh, that was a little bit early, but still going in, sweeping back and forth, and he might just survive as Ingo everything, including the soldiers, and Zeus is going to be able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, barely gets it there. Zeus is showing, I think, a really nice, I mean, communication with Faker. I meant to say Birdall was showing a little bit of a potential spring trap situation there. He wanted to actually go onto the Camille. He's a level up, and I think wanted to actually try to blow her up and win that 1v1. That was the angle he was looking to set up for, but unfortunately, Camille was not alone, and he dies, and now this turret goes down, and now it's going to be a lot of extra money here, and yeah, it's a Drake back, but we were already kind of downplaying. This is Ocean Soul, good for both comps. TP comes through, will save this turret, but that's a TP expended. T1 definitely winning out on this exchange. They're not able to force a straight-up fight, but extra kill going over to the top side.
We're doing Baron.
There's no vision.
0. They have had total control of the top set of the map here. Only a blue ping on it so far. Showmaker might come over here. They spot him moving in as now the vision is there. But is it too little, too late? The Azir is doing tons. The Gumayusi as well as Ingo Showmaker. They're just going to blow up Keria as T1 will get this Baron.
Birdall has ult.
I sense a dive coming in, and the teleport will be used, just desperately trying to save the lives of T1. The apotheosis is big, but it's not nearly enough as Zeus is trying to trade something back. He gets 2. And that is a pretty large Camille, but at the end of the day, Dom is still kiting this one out.
I mean, you can just kill the turret, then kill the Camille. That's the plan. He's like, okay, you can zip around. I'll kill this turret. Bye-bye.
Trying to get Birdall, but obviously can just hop back into that one. And now it's Zeri once again. Add 2 items. Just bought herself a 3rd item with that fight.
Yep. And this is how you play around these early, okay, not this, but that was how you play around these early skirmishes with the Zeri yet again at work, as Birdall, I think he was trying to set a trap here, otherwise the position doesn't make sense. He's seen, he's punished. Sand Soldiers go in, he goes to the Death Chamber. Nice try there on the ultimate, but it's a little bit early as you mentioned. But Showmaker comes in here, steals Sejuani ult, sets up for an insta blow up onto Keria. So support already down here. There's no peel. Look at where Birdall is. He is coming over. He's ready. And look at where the enemy top laner is. Zeus is mid. He is not here. He has his teleport in here, but it's so late. It almost makes me wonder if the UI is wrong and he didn't have it immediately, because I think if you're going to try to make a stand here as T1, you have to teleport in way faster. I mean, they already got the outer turret mid. And you either make the call to push for inner and back and cut your losses, or you come in a lot faster. I think a little bit slow to respond here. We're T1. Dom doesn't pick up like a triple kill or anything, but he'll pick up 350 here on Zeus and a lot of assist money. So, I mean, this is still huge for the Zeri, and she's already showing that with the Phantom Dancer in these kind of crazy skirmishes, taking risks like what T1 just did there can backfire immensely. And they were really just hoping that DAMWON Kia wouldn't see it. They did. They punished.
Infinity Edge here for Bertle. Not sure if he had that on that last fight, but he's got it now. It's a big 2-item power spike here. We do have, or Dominic's finished for Duckdom. He actually just got that after a little bit more extra farming in the mid lane, which for now on the inner turret is safe enough. You see they're pinging the side here just so they don't have much vision as he's farming this out, but it's still a very strong Zeri who does go for some armor penetration before we do get into that IE spike.
Yeah, I won't necessarily need that poke in the game state like this for DAMWON Kia, where they're just playing it out slow. Showmaker looking for an angle here. Bertle in a side lane, or rather Zeus in a side lane.
Showmaker going Crown himself. It's pretty interesting into Azir, but it's pretty much only Azir that can really proc that. It does make you very sticky, very difficult to really get rid of.
Yeah, and if you're looking just for hard engage from a distance away, you're going to, I mean, it's going to be procced as you're going in, and that's going to give you just that all the extra resistances, the extra hard engage, the damage reduction that you need to actually get the maximum value off. Because you're not looking to pick the backline as Showmaker, you're looking to just get into the front line and buy space for Duckdom. So I do like it in that regard, and as long as it's up, when you do decide to do that, it will be immense value. He also went Zhonya's for the stasis and the extra armor that's going to give him. He's a tank. He's just full tank Sylas here, essentially.
Same with Faker, especially once he picks up his Zhonya's. Working on that at the moment. As T1 still grouping up here for this Ocean Drake. Been here for about 30 seconds, just waiting for DK to make a move. Which they have not just yet. Just trying to get prior around mid and then get into this one. T1 seemingly want to be very ready for this next fight. Stopwatch on Duckdom though. Gonna buy him a lot of time when we do see that Hextech ultimatum that will have his name on it.
Duckdom's positioning here is so critical. If he overextends, he will be vulnerable to the hard dive that T1 have with this Hextech ultimatum. His one job is not to die. Then the second job is to do damage as he survives. But step one, if he fails that part, we don't even get to watch the rest of the fight. That will just end instantly. Now he can proc the crown very easily too on this Zeri. Another thing to consider here, Faker less survival one that's broken.
Yeah. So now he doesn't have the crown. Doesn't have his Zhonya's finished yet, from what I can tell.
Yeah, not yet.
Is sitting on Crown and Morelos for damage and Phoenix Codex.
Okay, they're looking to actually collapse on the Zeus here potentially, but they don't have the damage without Duckdom. I think this could be something that could backfire. Duckdom's positioning here has to be so far away from Zeus, but that leaves him vulnerable to the left side.
Yeah, Zeus is you can see, he's like pretty tanky. He's level 15, he's got some levels. They're trying to get on top of him though, as maybe I cursed him. He's trying to get out of here now with the hook shot. He's buying a lot of time. He will go down, and you can't burst Drakes like he used to. It's just not going to happen as Zeus goes down, does a bit of damage, but that is DAMWON Kia's Drake.
I think T1 kind of left him out to dry there a little bit. I mean, he's backing off, he's backing off, he's backing off. T1 are starting the Drake. Like, he needs to leave, or T1 will have to, commit further on top of the fight and actually try to turn it during that Hextech ultimatum. Duckdom's positioning was perfect. He just kited right up the choke point. He was like, yeah, you guys start the Drake. My team is killing the Camille. And watch this one more time, more zoomed out. Look at where Duckdom is in this fight. T1 are just so far away from him. I think he probably should have been kiting back away and trying to allow his team to then take the Drake aggro and then look to turn back around, but he stayed so long, and Duckdom was never going to be a target there because his positioning was so good. He played the long con game and paid for it. Does now pick up his hull breaker here, so a little bit more of a threat in a side lane, but
yeah, I mean, you've got double teleport. So does DK, but there's some ways where you can make some crazy side lane plays happen. It does mean that in team fights, he's already really tanky, so it doesn't really offer much by itself.
He will survive for a few seconds longer by himself.
By himself.
Collapsed on. Yeah. Like when they find him, he'll live a little bit
He
longer.
built it because he died in that last fight the way he did, maybe. Probably not.
No, I don't think so, but
jokes aside,
it does feel
very
ironic.
interesting choice. Would love to see him, you know, actually split push. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, and he can be a split pushing win condition, obviously, if he's given enough resources by owner to do so.
But really tanky.
He's really tanky, but I mean, these inners are up. You know, he's not threatening any inhibitors. And this is the lull state that DAMWON Kia are really loving, because this is the time where they have soul point. They can avoid the next fight if they want, but I don't think they will, because they're very close to finishing IE for DuckDom, who has a stopwatch. So does Canyon. So does Birdall. Like, they're ramping up for one more decisive fight, and they want to end the game. And they have such a massive lead right now in terms of how these two compositions function. On the other side, T1 will have to 100-0 this area somehow. The Neela is very behind in items, does not have any range, no staying power. She's not really a ranged champion. She's not really an AD carry. She's just another engaged tool here. And since Faker didn't go damage, like you were saying, Camille went for side lane utility tankiness. Even if she gets a Hex Tech onto DuckDom, he could stopwatch, and then they win the fight.
Sunfire for owner. Everybody's just gone for these, like, kind of unique hybrid, you know, damage tank builds, it feels like. Maybe that's just the state of League of Legends nowadays, but either way.
Zeri's loving it, that's all we could say.
Definitely not a lot of boom boom on the side here at T1. And so they are controlling vision around the Baron pretty nicely. They have been sending owner down to the bottom side of the map to potentially dive onto Birdall, but Birdall has been playing the weak side very nicely. Like, he got caught out the one time, which was a little bit rough. He made something out of it the other time, and ever since then, he's really just been farming under turret and sticking with the team, not getting out of position. He's level 16 now, and he will be that engaged tool, essentially, for the Zeri, as you mentioned.
Zeus, he has so much power in this game, but he is also the focal point for DAMWON Kia if he tries to use it too aggressively. We saw this for Faker on the Lissandra last game, and this is the same sort of scenario. Is we need to kill somebody, we need to execute somebody, we need to all-in engage with T1's comp, and it can be a double-edged sword, as we saw on that bottom Drake fight. The problem is that the damage for this area gets so immense that even if he's tanky, you know, he just gets melted so quickly, and they have so much follow-up CC. Cyclone swings through, you know, Showmaker gets in there on top of him, and it just becomes so easy for DAMWON Kia to peel. There we go, we got there in the end.
Extra vision.
Double layered.
Yeah, denying the wards over the wall. Gotta love it. There weren't any, but, you know. Now you can drop one. Now you can drop one in this Ocean Rift bush.
Well, Valdez, Infinity Edge is ready, but they need to force this fight without vision at all.
Look, they're denying the vision, and nobody's here. So at the end of the day, DAMWON Kia just not able to get here on time.
This is really unfortunate.
T1, they get the Baron, they get out. It's just nothing taken. DK, they're probably going to get this mid turret, but that's not the greatest trade for Baron.
No, it's a consolation prize at best, and Baron buff for this fight going to be pretty significant going into the Ocean Soul for DAMWON Kia. Also not as significant as the Baron. DAMWON
to engage is Showmaker. That's decent amount of damage from Silas, right?
Mean, level 16 Silas means he can get another one.
Yeah.
Just a second here, so it's a big slow. Gives them prio here and a little bit of extra damage. T1, look at that extendo beam damage. 4 items Zeri.
It's like, oh yeah, Zeri's in this game.
And she has stopwatch.
Wish we had the Yuumi, but no, we've got support Sejuani. It's now Ocean Soul. Could be huge, especially against all this poke from the side of DK. Crown is going to be punctured here on the side of DAMWON Kia. As in goes Birdall now. He's get out immediately.
Divide.
That is huge. It's now better Emperor's Divide. Underneath this one is can't even see the health bar. Zayn super tanky is going to go low. As do they have the damage? They have Showmaker in this backline as it is going to be the Ocean Soul taken. And now DuckDom has the entire rift to himself. Where did Faker even go? He just disappears as this is looking like a Game 5 angle now. DuckDom cannot be ran away from. He picks up the triple kill. They will look to push and end.
I mean, there's just no vision of where Zeri is, and the second that the engage comes through from Birdall, not even really an engage, just goes over the wall. Emperor's Divide gets pulled out. You needed that tool to lock DuckDom down. Full health Zeri, again untouched, 6, 1, and 9. And DAMWON Kia will push to end. Game 5 angle, as you said, and it was a great mid-game from them. They slowed the game down. So much pressure relieved. Showmaker dancing on the Nexus.
Silver Scrapes, here we go. Game number 5, DAMWON Kia bring us there against all odds. You see Birdall is extremely happy. He gets brought in for game 4, pulls out the Yone, and they are able to win with him in the lineup. T1 not able to make this work. And I'm sure it starts with the draft for this one. Once again, the Zeri